Tiga.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 1 from 3SC2 class. My name is Muhammad Haiqal.
And my name is Dimas Bagaskara.
So in this video, we will explain about our topic of our test, which is the application architecture of OVO financial payment system.
Okay, the application, the background of our presentation is of legal payment system that are being used by Indonesian as their particular cashless financial option or e-wallets. That the application process is or method on creating application that contain business layer like OVO, Dana, GoPay, and each other.
So the definition of application architecture, it's basically a map of how a software or an application are assembled together in order to make the perfect and the finished product of the application. So those different things in this architecture, they will interact with each other in order to meet the business or the user requirements or the finished product of the application. The layered architecture pattern is the n-tiered pattern, which is the components are arranged in horizontal layers, and this is a traditional method for designing most of the software in today's time, and is intended for self-development so that all components are interconnected but not interdependent.
Okay, these are the image of the layer. First is presentation layer, then the control layer, then domain layer, then the core is database layer. Next, please.
Okay. So this is the most common architectural pattern, and in this case we have OVO, so this is the enterprise level application. So assuming that we know that the application uses the entry pattern, so what's inside the entry pattern? So there's 4 layers. The first one is the presentation layer, business layer, the security or the persistence layer, and the last one is the database layer. So the outer one, the most outer layer of it all, is the presentation layer, which is all parts that is related to the presentation layer, which basically is everything that the user can see, such as the UI and UX. And then we have the business layer, which is the layer that deals with the business logic, like the transactions and all that stuff. And then under the business layer, we have the security layer, which is, of course, a layer that secures what's inside the security layer. It is useful for dealing with all functions related to the relational objects. And the inner part, the most protected part of the layer, is the database layer, which is a layer that contains a database that stores all the data from the application and the user data, which is the most important stuff in the layer.
Okay, so what the benefit of the application architecture first is reduce the cost, because in business we must reduce the cost as possible. Like if we use the database into we can use N1, then improve the efficiency by ending gaps, such where one application can report another or one mobile user cannot access the install service net. Next, enterprise platform for access the active to the third-party developer. So produce interoperable modular system there is to use and the maintenance.
Okay, so we have explained that the layer has 2 layers, which application architecture, business layer, and persistent security layer, and database layer. So in this case, we are using the OVO application for the example, and this application, it is a mobile payment application. So it's basically an application that acts like your virtual wallet, where you can top up the OVO cash using real money. And when you want to buy something, you don't have to pay it with cash. You just pay it with OVO, with the application. So the first layer is the application architecture of mobile payment. So the presentation layer is this layer mostly contains the UI UX or the display of the application of OVO application. So in this layer, we will show some images about the UI and the UX of the application, such as the mobile menu, the security, and all that stuff. And then we have the business layer of OVO mobile payment. So this is the example of when a user is using OVO Cash for a transaction to a merchant. Like for example, if you want to buy some food, and then you use the OVO Cash payment method, and that is when the business layer just do the job. And then we have the persistence or the security layer of mobile payment. The systems designed in terms of security should be in line and compatible with other involved components of the system. Why? So they can work each other. If one component is uh, unresponsive or uncompatible with others, so everything will not work. And then we have the database layer of mobile payment. This is the last layer of the architecture, which is the database layer, which contains the numerous amounts of important data of our users and the merchants and all that stuff. Since this is a mobile payment application, it's, as you know, it's involve money in it, right? So in this case, money is very, very important, just as important as the user data. So the database layer has to be protected. Like, yeah, it has to be protected. This is the
Okay,
implementation application architecture of mobile payment.
so the
Adam.
first one is about the implementation layer or the presentation UI and UX. So the Innovo is very simple and very to understand by the user because in mobile phone is very limited layout or device. Innovo use the bright color to attract the user and to make fun for the user. And but in UX is very simple. You can see in the right, there's many option to user can choose. Okay, next.
So this is the implementation of the business layer of a mobile payment. So in the application, as you can see from the picture from the image here, this is the UI image. This is the home page of the application. So once you are logged in, this is the page that shows up first. So as you can see, there are a couple of services here, such as PLN, pulsa, paket data, pasca bayar, BPJS, TV kabel, iuran lingkungan, dan lain-lain. So these are the most used services in OVO. So they put these logos or these shortcuts in the homepage to make the user do the transaction easily and fast. So when the such for example, when the user wants to pay their electric bills, they can just open OVO and they can just uh, choose the PLN logo there and follow the instructions, and voila, their electric bills is paid. The same things goes for the rest of the services here.
Okay, next is about the implementation of business layer. In business layer, we have two zone, first trust zone and the public zone and DMZ. In trust zone, because of is have the wallets or the e-wallets, so it's must very trusted. First is the login and register. In first layer, you must put your number, and after you put your number in, the OVO will verify your number. Then can you use your unique security code for yourself.
This is the public zone and DMZ. So this is the page where the user can access, such as the main menu. So in the application main menu, OVO offers numerous amounts of transactions options that the user can access easily, such as things that I mentioned earlier, electric payment services, mobile credits, game vouchers, internet, and etc. etc. As you can see from the images above, the second image, like in the middle one, it is the example of the electric bill payment method in OVO. As you can see, once the user tapped the PLN logo, the second image will show up, and there are numerous amounts of options there. 20,000 rupiah, 50,000 rupiah, 100,000 rupiah, and etc. etc. And another example is game vouchers. Here, OVO has numerous amounts of game vouchers from Battle.net to Megaxus, where the user can choose different types of game vouchers.
Okay, next the operation or the security layer of the mobile payment. In OVO, we use the ID card of the user is served, and the security is here for the safety the OVO. So if you want plan click OVO, they just the login or something, but you must put your fingerprint if the phone have the fingerprint method or use the code. But if your ID is fake, the OVO will be granted or the downgrade your account. Okay, next.
So this is the example of mobile payment on the database layer. As you can see from the picture above, we have a repository manager, and we have the data entity source, and we have a couple of operations behind the repository manager. So once the user, let me show you the example. So let's take a user, they want to buy some food in the merchant. So they need to choose the menu and then proceed to transaction. Once they have finished the transaction, the admin or the managers can provide the data that is needed to proceed the transactions, such as the name of the merchant, name of the wallet user, and the total amount of money to be transferred to the database, which is on the trusted zone and cannot be accessed publicly. It is highly protected, secured, and monitored 24/7 by database developers and security. So once they have the data that is needed to be shown at the application, the user can just proceed and finish the transaction, and all the logic and all the money will come to the merchant, and the food order of the user will be validated. So a lot of high company application, they use some databases such as PostgreSQL, Redis, or ResynC database as their main database.
Okay, for the consumption, mobile payment such OVO become the daily because for the market demand is very like in the country like Indonesia or something like it's practical, fast, and easy to use. And also the people demand and can save a lot of time to the transaction. You can just take your phone and use the OVO or to scan the barcode and that's it. It's done for the transaction. It's like and the new normal like this or the COVID-19 is very used because you must not to test others than your phone self. And by learning the application technology, maybe you can use create the others application like this or maybe the betters. That's it.
Okay, so this is the last part of the presentation, which is the suggestion. By learning and understanding the application architecture of certain applications, it means we have learned the inside of an application, of how they are assembled in order to make the finished product. And if you have learned the outside of the application and the inside of the application, it will unlock more knowledge in ourselves, and it will open new possibilities and chances for us to take that what we have learned, and then we can combine those ideas with others to create or maybe invent something that is even more spectacular than what it is now. That is all for our presentation. Thank you for your time and for listening. My name is Muhammad Haiqal.
And my name is Dimas Bagaskara.
And thank you very much.
And see you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you next time. Bye-bye.